Hi y'all, Mark coming at you again from the L.I.E with another L.I.E lesson series. This one specifically is going to be about sweep picking. Now, we don't always use sweep picking on stage depending on what style we use, but I think it's an essential part of daily practice routine. First, we start out with our equipment. I always make sure that my amp is turned on. I have a tube amp, and if it's not turned on at least 30 seconds before playing, generally it explodes. Next, we look at our pedal board. Now, your pedal board has to be perfectly level with the ground. What I like to do, I just go to Home Depot, I grab a leveler, I put it on. If the bubble is in the middle, great. Otherwise, I kind of have to sand the sides or add tape like a wobbly table. And then, of course, third is picking your instrument of choice. Normally, I pick the red guitar. Sometimes I pick the darker red guitar. Now, in terms of tone, the lighter the color, the brighter the sound. The darker the color, of course, the darker the sound. I generally like a brighter sound, but people, of course, use darker sounds depending on the style they play. Now, a really important thing to think about, this is more, I want to dispel a myth on sort of the fringe of guitar playing. These little things here, they call them pickups. They're actually just decorative, depending on like what kind of guitar you buy. So I've got these little ivory-looking pickups, and then I've got these silvery-looking pickups. So if my band ever asks me, "What guitar are you playing?" I say I use Mrs. Ivory or the Silver Fox. They always know what I'm saying, so I don't really have to explain it to them. So as we start to learn this technique, we kind of just need to dive in, practice every single day. So what I do is I grab my instrument of choice and I look around the pedal board and I pick which spots need sweeping. So I'm left-handed. It always kind of starts on the left side. Doesn't always mean it's the dirtiest side. It just kind of means that, like, that's where I pick. You can start on the right. You can start on the top. I'll say generally I don't pay attention to the top of it because I can't see it all the time. It's not aesthetically pleasing to me. But I still like to give it at least one or two sweeps. One important thing to point out when you're using the sweep picking technique is your bristle to carpet fiber ratio. I like to use a C12X8, which I just upgraded from an X7. The major difference is the X8 is scented, which really helped my girlfriend move back in once she realized my room didn't smell as much from hours of practicing and not showering because I can't afford water. Anyways, the X7, though, the one major difference is the X7 had a lever on it where I could have a dirt release. It collected a bit better. For this one, I'm still having to use a dustpan, and dustpans aren't effective for carpet sweep picking. So I know with a lot of gear choices, especially new guitar players starting out, it's really all about starting at ground zero, building up from there. I wouldn't recommend this. It's a little advanced. But, you know, you want to try to get yourself a decent instrument to start practicing sweep picking. So, anyways, I hope this lesson was helpful and you can incorporate it into your everyday practice.